The recruitment hall buzzed with the chittering of Velkari mandibles and the deep, resonant hums of Thorgan vocal cords. Commander Zexthal observed the newest batch of Galactic Defense Force recruits with practiced eyes, cataloging each species' natural advantages. The towering Krillians with their chitinous armor plating, the swift Velkari with their razor-sharp reflexes and natural weapons, the massive Thorgans whose dense muscle fibers could crush steel. And then there was the human. Marcus Chen stood barely reaching Zexthol's shoulder, his pale skin looking almost translucent under the harsh station lighting. His frame appeared delicate compared to the biological weapons surrounding him. No natural armor, no claws, no enhanced musculature. Even his homeworld designation seemed like a joke. A third-rate planet in an unremarkable system, recently inducted into the Galactic Union after some minor ecological disaster. "That one won't last the first training exercise," chuckled Sergeant Krixva, his Velkari compound eyes glittering with amusement. "Look at those soft limbs. No exoskeleton, no redundant organs. What were the recruiters thinking?" Zexthal had wondered the same thing. The human's medical records showed baseline everything: average strength, standard reflexes, minimal natural defenses. The only notation of interest was a single line: "Survivor of Earth. Ecological Collapse Event 2387. "Perhaps it's a mistake," Zexthal muttered. But something about the human's posture caught his attention. While other recruits postured and displayed their natural weapons, Marcus Chen stood quietly, his dark eyes taking in everything with an unsettling intensity. The first trial was endurance running, a simple 10-kilometer course through the station's environmental chambers. The Krillians charged ahead with their powerful legs, the Velkari scuttling with inhuman speed, and the Thorgans lumbering forward with unstoppable momentum. Marcus Chen started at a modest pace that drew snickers from the other recruits. By kilometer 3, half the Velkari had collapsed from overheating. By kilometer 6, the Krillians' heavy armor plating had become a liability in the humid marsh environment. The Thorgans pressed on with their legendary endurance, but their pace had slowed considerably. Marcus Chen maintained his steady rhythm, his breathing controlled and efficient. While others had sprinted and burned out, he had calculated his energy expenditure with mechanical precision. He finished 4th overall, but he was the only recruit who looked ready to continue. "Interesting," Zexthal noted, making marks on his datapad. The survival exercises proved even more revealing. When the recruits were dropped into a simulated hostile environment with limited supplies, the natural predators among them struggled with resource management. The Krillians devoured their rations within the first day, unused to rationing. The Velkari, evolved for quick strikes and abundant prey, couldn't adapt to the scarcity. Marcus Chen systematically cataloged every edible plant, every water source, every potential shelter material. He built efficient traps, purified water using primitive distillation, and maintained a fire that burned steadily for 3 days. While others grew desperate and made increasingly risky decisions, the human methodically extended his survival window. "His species isn't particularly strong," observed Krixva, watching the feeds. "But look at that problem-solving capability. And that persistence, it's almost unsettling." The combat trials revealed the strangest aspect of human nature. During hand-to-hand combat, Marcus Chen was routinely overpowered by opponents with superior strength and natural weapons. But something happened when he was cornered or injured, something that made even the seasoned instructors take notice. When Gorthak, a massive Thorgan recruit, managed to pin Marcus to the ground and began applying crushing pressure, most species would have submitted or been rendered unconscious. Instead, Marcus Chen's eyes gained a frightening clarity. He exploited tiny mechanical disadvantages in his opponent's grip, targeted nerve clusters with surgical precision, and displayed a pain tolerance that bordered on the impossible. He didn't just fight, he calculated, adapted, and persisted with a cold determination that unnerved his opponents. The Thorgan, despite his massive advantages, found himself unexpectedly thrown and pinned by what should have been an impossibly weak opponent. What kind of world produces fighters like this? Zexthal wondered aloud, pulling up Marcus Chen's homeworld data again. The records were sparse, but gradually a picture emerged. Earth hadn't just experienced an ecological collapse. It had endured multiple extinction events, ice ages, plagues, and resource wars spanning millennia. The humans weren't naturally strong or fast or armored, because they had evolved in a world that required something else entirely. the ability to outlast anything the universe could throw at them. Where other species had developed overwhelming strength or speed or natural weapons, humans had developed something more terrifying: absolute methodical persistence coupled with ruthless adaptability. They were evolution's answer to a world that tried to kill them in every conceivable way, and they had simply refused to die. During the final evaluation, Commander Zexthul asked Marcus Chen a single question: "What makes humans effective soldiers?" Marcus Chen considered this for a moment, his expression thoughtful. "We're not the strongest or the fastest, Commander, but we're very good at not giving up. On Earth, everything tried to kill us: the weather, the diseases, the animals, other humans, the planet itself. We learned to just keep going, to find a way no matter what." He paused, then added with quiet conviction, "You can beat us in any single engagement, sir, but we specialize in the long game. We adapt, we persist, and we learn from every failure. Eventually we win because we're still standing when everything else has given up." The recruitment hall fell silent as the other recruits processed this statement. What they had mistaken for fragility was actually the ultimate expression of evolutionary survival. Pressure, a species that had been forged in a crucible so harsh that simple persistence had become their greatest weapon. Commander Zexthul looked at the unremarkable human with new understanding. The galaxy was vast and filled with natural predators, but Earth had produced something far more dangerous: survivors who simply refused to quit. "Welcome to the Galactic Defense Force, Recruit Chen," Zexthul said, and made a mental note to revise the recruitment protocols. Apparently, the galaxy's most fearsome warriors didn't always come in the most impressive packages. In the end, the record said it all: Survivor of Earth. In a universe full of natural predators, that designation was becoming the most terrifying credential of all.